G'day, g'day. So today is a slightly challenging talk because we're going to look at a particularly influential set of laws, and we're going to think about how they can influence us, because you want to ask that question of, could one set of laws change how we do things all the time? So we're going to go back in time. We're going to look at the Nuremberg Laws, which were passed in Germany 90 years ago, so 1935, which is a little while ago. I think that was 8 years after what's that movie called? That really good movie. There's a really good movie that came out in 1928. Metropolis. 8 years after that fantastic movie came out. So let's have a look at some real world, yeah, how stuff happen. So essentially, our understanding of justice today is influenced by these Nuremberg laws. So let's have a little exploration into them. So to give you a rundown what it was, so Nuremberg laws, that was the one that specifically made it okay for the Nazis in Germany to persecute Jewish people, which, you got to remember, until 33, it was, like not exactly a thing that people did. So, I mean, I think, yeah, if we study things like this, like if you study the Nuremberg laws, it's going to show you kind of how governments can use law to not only target, isolate, and pick on certain groups of people. And like, look, then it was the Jewish people, but it could be any group today. And just recognizing why we need to be aware of how policymakers make laws and why they make laws and how it can influence us at all times. So let's have a little think about this. So was that this one? We'll try that one. Hold on, give me a moment. Let me give you another link. This one? Yes. Not found. I know why. I had a thing on it. Give me a moment. Let me copy the link correctly. Here we are. Okay. Let's have a little learn about, I guess, a little baseline of what they were. So, the Nuremberg race laws defined Jews in racial terms, which I guess is odd for a religious group. Maybe tribal terms could work a little better. So, the laws proclaimed that Jews could not be citizens and restricted who Jews could marry. Interesting. Okay. So, in 1935, the Nazis, they said they're going to have a citizenship law, and they wanted to protect German blood and German honor. Wow, imagine if that was put in today for anything else, and it's like, oh, we need to protect this group's blood and this group's honor. I mean, it doesn't matter which group it is. It's just it's ugly either way. So essentially, this is the baseline of the race laws that we all hear about, or we have heard about, in the 20th and the 21st centuries, and it gives us a picture of what what things were like. So just to talk about what we're going to cover today, is we're going to think about the consequences of the Nuremberg laws. We're going to consider the social and legal impacts. So what are those things, and obviously what legacy that would have in human rights and justice, because in I think it was, when did they do it? Declaration of Human Rights. I think it's 1947. Now, yeah, I know, but when? There, this one. That's the one. Nah, I was wrong. It was 48. Even more into the future. Okay. So 1948, there was the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. I wonder why that was timed then. So let's have a consideration. So, yeah, maybe World War II had something to do with this whole thing. Let's have a. Oh, I got another link. Let's do that one. Where's World War II? Have I got it? Let me get this link up. Sorry, guys. I thought I'd set these links up, but they weren't 100% set up. Okay. Let's investigate. Yeah. So Nuremberg Laws. It's always introducing what they are. It's like transformed the definition of Jewish identity from religious to racial, stripping rights and paving the way for the Holocaust, which you kind of have to ask, what is, how do countries get to that? How do they get to the point when it's okay to do something? Oh, geez, how's that? So this guy has the mayor, Karl Luger, he says, I decide who is a Jew. Okay. So, in response to a question about why he had Jewish friends. So basically, he said that because he had Jewish friends and he's like, making the statement like, well, some are okay, but not these ones. It's that old racial line. It's like, some of this group are okay, but some of that group are not. And it's just interesting the languaging that people used. Luckily, they don't do that today. Or do they? I don't know. Okay. And there's this term of eugenics. So I'll give you a little bit of a rundown what eugenics is. It's an ugly term. Oh, actually, let's let Perplexity tell us what eugenics. What is eugenics? All right. Oh, how cute. There's a tree. Okay. So basically, eugenics is the idea that human beings can and should improve and become better with a genetic makeup. So, it's like you're breeding animals and you need to breed the ones that are. So, for example, the best animal of all is this one. Okay. So the Jack Russell is an awesome doggy. I must say, they are adorable. They're fun. And if you'll know, they're very similar size to another animal. Wait, let me type it. I'll type it in. Let me, there. Very similar size. Oh, also adorable and cute and tiny. It's almost as if that other animal was bred to be the size to fit into the holes that these guys hide in. Man, humans are dark. They are, aren't they? It's almost like they're predators. Okay, back to war and humans. Okay, so fundamentally, Nuremberg laws included laws for the protection of German blood and German honor, the Reich citizenship law, and that's what defined Jewishness. And racially, it took away Jewish citizenship. Imagine you're living in a country, and then you lose your citizenship just because of which background you are. And here's the key detail: it prohibited marriage between Jews and non-Jews. Now that's interesting because the country where I'm from, I remember, I don't know, when I was too young, but what I know about it is under apartheid, it was illegal for, I think it was, they'd say for Africans to, it's basically the whites and the Africans to intermix. And that was essentially, that's a throwback to this law, so interesting how they kind of work and how scary they are when we do look at them like that. So let's have a look at that encyclopedia one. And I'm just like stressed. Okay, let me just close all of my things and I'll open them again as I go to my links because I planned ahead and I've just realized I've when I miss a link, I miss everything. I get confused. So to help me not be confused and to help you not be confused, I'm going to open the links as I go. The joys of being human. I've already shown you this one. Yes, like, we've already gone through this. All right, we already get it. So Nazis did not see the Jews as Aryans. Fair, because of course they would not have thought, so they would have thought they're inferior, yada yada, we get it. But let's have a look, see what notes have I got. Yeah, I get it. Okay, because I mean, look, ultimately, what I'm trying to point out over here is, you know, like laws can really be anything. And you kind of want to ask this question of like, should laws always follow the majority or should they protect minorities? And at which point is that the case? And then you got to go, well, who's doing what and where? And I mean, I'm sure there's yeah. Can you think of any any laws that were discriminatory in the past, or what about some laws that you can see and you think they may be used for discrimination in the future? I mean, if you see something like, oh yeah, I think that's a concern, throw it down, like comment about it, because that's how we get that discussion going, so that we can figure out about the future. Moreover, if you were living geez, imagine if you were actually living in that time, like in 1935, and somebody got actually influenced by those laws. Like, what would you do? It's like you're a lawyer, but now the laws become not okay. At this point, do you just jump ship and change countries? Or do you try and survive within the country that you're in and you're comfortable? So I think like that's a fair point to be concerned about, don't you think? Because there's a lot to do with these. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll put all these sources in the description so that you can kind of float through and look at these, because hopefully this is useful, and you do learn some stuff. So I'm keen to hear from you guys. So look, fundamentally, you're from other parts of the world. So if you could change one law in your country's history, which law would you choose and why? I'm keen to see if you can share those in the comments. And I mean, let's have a think about how laws can change our experiences with life and the world, because it is a lot can happen. So yeah, I'll put the links in the description, and feel free to like and comment if you have to. And obviously subscribe if you would like to as well. I would appreciate it very, very much. And not to mention, I want people to ask questions about, it's like, what would be useful for you to learn? Because I'm thinking like, well, I like topics. Because, okay, I'll give you a bit of a rundown before I run off. I was thinking about laws today, and I thought, well, I'm thinking like the Hammurabi laws, I was thinking about the really, really ancient laws. So like, if you go all the way, I mean, let's go to ancient Babylonian laws. Ancient Babylonian laws. That sounds fancy. I can't spell laws. I mean, yeah, this one. So, I mean, this is 1755 to 1750. Do they still influence us today? So let's have a think about that. So, okay. I can never spell Hammurabi. Okay. Does the code of Hammurabi still influence us today? I wonder. Does it? This Hammurabi character. Ew. So justice, proportionate punishment, and the importance of written laws. That's a key detail there, is written laws. Okay. So Babylonians, why were they important? Who are the Babylonians? Let's have a little bit of a look into who they were. Who were the Babylonians? Let's see. Oh, so it's Babylon. Oh, that's an interesting area. Let's check out where it was. Can you make out that map? Oh yeah. Let's go. I want to go Babylon map. Okay, Babylon. Let's see what country it was or is. Images. What? What? Hold on. How do I make it bigger? What? This one. Bigger. I'll try and do this one. Nope. Hopefully that's big enough. Actually, no, it's really not big enough for you guys. If you'll note, Babylon is okay. If you know this region, so that's it seems so. Middle East is all the way down here, and yeah, Persia's kind of around here. Here's modern day Turkey. I don't know what's going on around this little Levant area. That might be a bit of fought over territory, maybe. I don't know if people care about that spot or if it's important for anything. It's almost as if ancient rules, ancient historical things still influence us to this day. Wow. So the very first laws, and then another group of laws that happened more recently. We just keep getting influenced by everything. So, yeah. Anyway, sorry for that little side note. I feel like it's always important to kind of factor these things in because really, I mean, one of my favorite texts is actually from this period, which is I'll just reference it. So the Epic of Gilgamesh. Okay. Okay, so this was the first, I think it's the first written text that we found of a story. So like you had the Indus Valley civilization that was running before them, but then with Gilgamesh, that's like the first like written down story of something that happened to a hero person. So, okay, epic. The thing that I found the most interesting was this Gilgamesh flood. That's probably the bit that I thought was the most interesting because I remember reading the story, thinking how similar the actual descriptions were to another flood story I had read. Okay, famous ancient god which closely parallels Noah's flood. Yeah, okay, we get it. So basically, there's this, essentially, the reason why I thought it was similar was Epic of Gilgamesh. The dove. Blood and the dove. Not the dove, the dove. I meant the dove. Bro. Give me the dove, please. I'm sure I remember a dove in that story. I'll leave AI to make sure. Oh, there we go. Boom. And the flood story within the Epic of Gilgamesh, the character Utnapishtim. Oh, jeez. Utnapishtim. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Releases a dove from his boat after the floodwaters have covered the earth. Interesting, right? Flies away, but then comes back unable to find a piece of land, indicate that the waters have not yet receded. Okay. Think about that if you know the Noah story. And then you got to ask that question like, well, what do people believe? Where they do believe? Why? Not to mention what was it? The Babylonians were really bad guys in the what's it called, the Jewish traditions. So anyway, stories are interesting and stuff. But yeah, let me know if there's something you guys want to hear about or what like topics you want me to cover. I mean, I'm generally very well versed on these things, so I can always go into them more. And if you want me to do like a whole 2 hours going through this, oh man, that'd be so much fun. Let me know, and comments, questions as you need them. Have a good one, and I will see you next time I do a stream or shorty thing. Okay, good day, goodbye, and I'll see you soonish.